Oh, you can hear.
hear
Okay,
you.
great stuff. So it means, all right, Chatewa, it means it's your settings. You just got to go look at your settings again and see what it is that you have not done. Most times, probably you haven't actually connected the audio. But right now, my war is with with Facebook. Okay, so we're on live on Facebook as well. So good morning. This morning we are looking at a very interesting subject, and the subject is future skills, modern day, well, rather future skills to master today. So these are skills which we will call future, but in reality, they're not really future skills. They are current skills, but they're not common. Most people don't have these skills. And so it's very important to have them. Now, to really kick this off the ground, I gotta begin with something that I think is very important. In fact, in the recent history, two well-known international banks in Zambia closed branches, and the most recent one closed 5 branches at one go. This is about 3 years ago. And I tell you, in terms of employees, the average bank branch here in Zambia today has been between 10 to 15 employees in total, and that is 7 too many. Now, according to Codigo's 2015 branch transformation report, that's based in the US, the newly remodeled bank branches have an average of 6 employees. You heard me right, 6 employees. In the past, I'm talking about just 15 years ago, the average branch employee number for a small branch was double that number. In fact, it was, double that number. And for a middle-sized branch, that would be almost 20. So 3 times that number. And so to go from double to have over half of the employees essentially declared redundant over the years makes it really threatening, huh? That is everyone. So 6 employees, that is everyone, including tellers and the branch manager. There are many reasons for this shrinking of branch sizes, but chiefly among them is customer experience. Most don't know that. And there's absolutely no doubt that technology has played a very large role in increasing this or causing this disruption. Now, we could spend an entire length of time in this training blaming someone, which is what the average person does. Or we could do what I always advise, and that is to either adapt to the current trends and times or die out. And I do not see any wisdom in the other option, right? So what does one do in this day and age that will ensure they remain relevant and adaptable to the rapidly changing landscape? So the first thing one must do is, without doubt, to increase your value proposition. Take note of that. Increase your value proposition. And what is that? What is it that you bring to the table in your community or in your society? What key skills do you possess that place you miles ahead of your competitors or colleagues in your industry? So your ability to master these key skills will be critical to your ability to remain relevant and employable, or better still, become a great entrepreneur in the near or immediate future. So the third part is that none of what I am about to share is taught either in schools or most workplaces or even tertiary institutions. So many people who are actually getting their MBAs and all that won't learn what I'm about to tell you. Okay, so the institutions tend to focus more on work-related skills than times-related skills, and as such, the onus is on you and I to actually master the skills. Okay, so according to renowned futurist Thomas Frey, I really do follow him quite a bit, there are essentially 11 skills. That's right. 11 skills you must master, and by so doing, increase your value factor and increase your income. So in fact, it is clearly demonstrated that value equals income. So if you do not master the skills that we will be going through over the next couple of weeks, you will find yourself with less relevance to your marketplace, especially in this day and age. And worse still, your ability to penetrate it and remain indispensable is going to happen unless otherwise. So in view of this, I will be outlining the skills in a moment. And then what I'll do is, even though I outline them, we'll go into deep detail with each one because they're so important. But for the purposes of flow, obviously, I have to to kind of give you the whole shebang. And then we're going to go deeper. So I recommend deeply right now, get yourself a pen and paper, because I'm teaching you right now. Just get yourself a pen and paper, or if you're one of those, type in the comments, but ensure you copy those things, paste them somewhere, and be deliberate. So don't just sit there and say, oh, it was powerful. Oh, I gained a thing or two. Oh, this was awesome. Nah, we don't need awesome in this group. What we want is practicality. So make sure you do this. And here's the other thing why I'm stressing this. You will be doing yourself a great favor by learning the skills I show and then mastering them for you to access and maintain your position in the marketplace, whether as an employee or as a freelancer. And as far as I'm concerned, I see the job market shrinking and transforming into another model. I'll say that again. I see the job market shrinking and transforming into another model. This is where I have a bone to pick with the current education system, because even though they have acknowledged, I mean, I know this because I've sat with the Curriculum Development Center people, they have acknowledged it, but they haven't changed it. So the education system still generates workers for the industrial age. But gentlemen, ladies, everybody on this call, we moved from the industrial age a long time ago. We're in a completely different age. It's actually called the fourth industrial age, revolution rather, and it's a global supply chain space, and it has changed in format. So you see, if you go 40, 50 years ago, one company could do 100 items. You'd have one monster company, holding company, with so many subsidiaries, and all these were labor intensive. So they went into the market to pick individuals to fill each individual space, kind of like a cog type of situation. But then as we move forward, a lot of the industrial age people from back in the 40s and 30s saw what the Japanese were doing, which was completely different. The Japanese were able to produce products at a fraction of what the American counterparts are doing. So for example, one story that really touched me, Ford Motor Company, when it started, basically owned an entire city. And every component that was part of the Ford came from that city. And then when Honda came on the scene, this is in the 40s, the Honda people were able to export vehicles into the US, and they were a fraction, they were less than half the price. It landed in the US of the equivalent Ford. So you know what Ford Motor Company and its experts did? They sent experts over to Japan to see what the heck of Honda doing to produce actually the same vehicle at half the price. And you know what they discovered? Honda was using super procurement strategies. That's basically what shaped the procurement industry as we know it. It was the ability to procure, it was the ability to outsource, it was the ability to split production of different items to different entities that made this powerful. So the concept of the global supply chain has grown immensely now. It's at global level now. That's why China is the world's producer, because it is cheaper to procure out of China than to manufacture in the US, for example. And so this idea is also true of labor. And that's why I'm saying this. The model, which was based on the traditional 9-to-5 timeline and that kind of thinking is gone. Okay, it's disappearing now as we speak. It will be more based on performance with specific tasks and 100% result oriented. It will also be more virtual rather than physical, and most importantly, the future jobs will transform into ones where companies no longer employ but outsource. And you know, the biggest lesson and proof of what I'm saying was our recent COVID pandemic. Okay, so they were going to be outsourcing for specific tasks and objectives. This idea of keeping a whole bunch of people employed in one company, especially for what I'm going to term, let me think carefully, specific kind of skills and functionalities, that's disappearing. I mean, most may not know this. I learned this Amazing. And it's not the only company, it's a lot of them. One of our largest telecoms company in the country, it's well known, it's one of the two largest ones. The core company, as in the actual company, occupies one floor in their building and employs not more than 25 people. That includes the CEO. And this is a large company, multi-billion kwacha company. They employ less than 25 people. And they have the CEO and all the directors in that one floor. Every other component of this company, the mobile money unit, the value addition service units, the technical unit, all these have been outsourced. In fact, where they have not outsourced, they have formed other companies completely separate, and then they are connected at the top at director level. But they are completely separate entities, business generating entities. So what this means for you and I who follow this thing, it means we are at an age and time, ladies and gentlemen, where the idea that one monster company is going to hire 200-300 people at that level, that's gone. In fact, the only people who employ at that level normally are mines and large manufacturing entities. But most times you notice that they tend to hire what we call low-skill workers. So that's your blue-collar, specific skill and labor type people. And all those are on contracts. They're not even on permanent employment. So everything has been outsourced, and that's the order of today. Okay, so this means now if you sell your work as a service, this means now you will sell your work as a service and you'll be paid for how much you work you do as an independent entity, not as an employee. That's the new direction. In fact, as I'm speaking to you right now, sales is one area where this kind of thing is going on already. So salespeople are brought in, but they are agents. They're not employees of the company. A lot of people don't know this. So even if your entire client list is just that particular entity, so this is what's going to happen. So gone will be the days of traveling to an office, clocking in, doing your daily routine, and clock out at the close of business. No, instead, you're clocking at whatever agreeable time. You find your list of tasks to complete, or you become a virtual customer service person with specific tasks and supporting tickets to complete in order, or in the case of large volume clients, you continuously solve problems and escalate those beyond your scope of service until you clock out at whatever time you choose to, as you are paid not by how many clients you see per se, but how much or how many issues you effectively resolve. That, my friends, is the future. That is the model job of the future. In fact, maybe I'm even using the word future wrongly here. It is the current scenario. And as such, if you are not able to adapt and learn the skills I am now about to outline, you'll find yourself in dire straits. So, ladies and gentlemen, times have changed. So let's jump into this baby now. I'm going to take you through the 11 skills you need to master. If you don't master these skills, my friends, you are doomed. You will be at a place where you will not be able to see yourself succeed. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you will find yourself stuck. So let's go through them real quick. So number one, managing yourself, the business of you. You are your own client. So you are the product. You are the service. You are everything that they're looking for. You carry all the relevant skills and product range that is necessary for others to engage and hire you. So managing yourself, the business of you, is the number one component here. If you don't know how to manage yourself, my friend, you will be screwed. So you have to learn how to manage yourself. And we'll go very deep into this and handle it well. You will see for yourself how important it is to manage yourself. That's why, if you notice, everything we do on this platform is about developing and getting to a better you. Because the better you are, the more you will generate. So it's not just about increasing your skills for the purposes of the job you seek, but it's about becoming a better version of the person that possesses those skills. This is what is the differentiator. This is what is going to set you apart from your peers. So how well do you manage yourself? How well are you skilled in all these various abilities relating to you? So remember this word. We are going into what is called the gig economy. So the gig economy is basically an economy centered around specific jobs for specific times. So it's not one of those where you just sit there and you get paid at the end of the day. The only people who are operating in that space right now are civil servants. But civil servants, I have some news for you. In the next 5 to 10 years, at the rate these countries are going, at the rate everything is happening in the world, we will soon begin to see even the government outsource many aspects of its services. They already do so. There are a number of ministries and organizations that are now using outsourced cleaners. They no longer employ cleaners. Yes, a number of ministries are very big, so they still have services. Some of them, because of the nature of their secrecy, they can't just bring anybody from out there. But it's all going, I'm telling you, for as long as we as Africans have a begging bowl going to borrow money from people, those people will impose conditions. And one of them will be, how do we make the civil service more efficient? We need to outsource those services. So you are going to see these things happen. And that's why if you are not sellable, if you are not valuable, if you are not good at managing yourself, you will miss in the gig economy, because that's the one that's coming. So gigs are going to be the order of the day. Number two, managing your distractions, your ability to manage things that come to draw your attention away from what matters. This is a really serious skill. And there are a number of items there that are very serious when it comes to drawing attention away. And so a lot of people who learn how to manage distraction will certainly see themselves grow and become better. Be more deliberate about what you allow to take your focus. So in short, managing your distractions is learning how to be focused on what matters most. Many people aren't. That's why they don't see this phenomenal success they should be seeing. That's why they don't see this impact and influence they should be seeing. It's because they are not focused. They are all over the place. Number three, managing relationships. I tell you, in my 7 capitals needed to start a business without money, one of the capitals is relationships. A lot of people don't realize that relationships are the doorway to your destiny. So every destiny step is preceded or connected or glued together by a relationship. So many people don't see that. And that's why they always find themselves stuck, even where somebody could have opened the door, even where somebody we like to call in our circles a destiny helper could have featured in your life. They don't feature because you don't know how to manage relationships. So it's very important to learn this skill. And it's one of the 11 skills, and nobody will teach you about managing relationships in a school, in a university. It doesn't exist. So you got to learn this directly. We'll be going into that. Number 4, managing your relevance to society. This for me is a very powerful truth as well. You know, there are 3 things that education should be. Number 1, it should be accessible. So meaning whoever it is from wherever they are should be able to access an education center near enough to them. Thank God for the internet. But remember, not everybody can connect to the internet. So it's still a tricky issue. But there are so many people today whose lives have been totally transformed because of this concept of accessibility. So accessible education is critical. Quality education is critical, but most important, relevant education. So that's number 3. So it must be relevant to your society. So ask yourself a question. There you are busy studying. There you are busy learning. My question to you is what you're learning relevant to your locality, to your situation? Does this skill or whatever it is you're pushing make a difference to you or not? And unfortunately, for most people, that's where the problem is. They just have a lot of irrelevant knowledge. So you got to ask yourself, if I look at, and I'm speaking in relation or vis-a-vis your society. So I could learn, for example, about space physics, but truly speaking in Zambia, is space physics relevant? We don't even have a space administration in this country. So it's totally useless. So you got to think of things that actually have a direct impact on the average person in your community, or better still, your circle of influence. So relevance is very important. Number 5, managing your awareness. This is an area, again, where a lot of people miss it. You spend hours following useless stuff on social media. But did you know that on your scroll, you can actually decide, you can guide the AI that runs your wall. See, all these walls that we see on Facebook and on Google or wherever it is are managed by an AI. So when you scroll and you're getting all these different people, this is based on what the AI thinks you find interesting. It watches what you like, it watches what you follow, and that's what it brings. But if you look next to it, you see there's a little X there. I hope you can see this. There's a little X right next to a post. That little X, you can tap on it and it can block those views. So if there's something you don't like, you can keep tapping to remove, and don't like stuff that is irrelevant. And it will quickly learn and change what it brings. So you start to receive things that you feel are important to your awareness and to your progress. You also want to be subscribing to the right groups. You want to be connected to the right WhatsApp circles. You want to be receiving emails from relevant industry experts. This is what awareness means. You want to join the right associations. So the unfortunate part with most people is they're busy being aware of irrelevance, if that matters. Yes, they are busy being aware of irrelevance. So this awareness is about being deliberate to choose who you want to follow and who you want to influence you, and then connecting to those. Number 6, managing your fans, followers, and your network. So every one of us here sings about brand this, brand that, brand this, brand that. We're always talking about brands all the time on this platform. So my question to you is, how are you managing those that have been attracted to your brand? Very important as well. So a lot of people don't know how to manage those followers well. They have no means of keeping in touch with them. They have no strategy in engaging them. And so because they don't engage those people, their circle doesn't grow. So if you want to grow your circle, if you want to move to the next level, you got to learn how to do this. This is absolutely critical. It will make a massive difference when it comes to how you grow. So how you manage those fans and followers is critical. I have had to learn a lot in relation to social media management. I mean, okay, now I'm at a stage where I just have to get the right people to manage my social media. But it's not just somebody saying like and post. No, it's also engaging, and that's what makes it so difficult. These guys are very smart. They want you to literally engage with your followers. But I'll tell you something, when you engage correctly, it's powerful. I think a lot of you just have to look at Dr. Mjajati and look at Chibamba Kanyama, and you see for yourself, Dr. Rosia Siatwambo, Galamkani, a lot of these experts, Dumisani, and you'll see that the network, the fans, the followers, this is what expands their influence. And so if you don't engage and use those platforms properly, there are a lot of opportunities you won't harness. I assure you, this includes jobs and gigs. And remember, I'm specifically talking about jobs, not the ones you go and get employed for 5 years, no, but gigs, like opportunities, like some of us who are out here in the entrepreneurial shark-infested waters. We rely on these networks for jobs and gigs and opportunities to sell our products and services. And so if you're not managing this well, you will not see those jobs. Number 7, managing your digital platforms. This is a whole other subject. And when I get to this space, I'll really go deep. But digital platforms are so many. They are not just social media. There is your websites. There is your different digital tools. There are so many tools now available for increasing your influence. I mean, currently I have roughly 4 people that are directly connected to me who I could call employees. But most of my work is done by automation. So I have mastered the art of automation. We automate to a fold. And I'm able to do stuff that makes me look like I have 15, 20 people, an army working for me. It's mostly automation because we have learned. That's why I'll tell you something. I was very surprised to learn. Well, not surprised, but pleasantly surprised to learn. Recently, it's not a secret, it's in public domain. Zona, the company, you know that they had been very powerful at one point, and then they lost their position to what you call market forces because the mobile platforms came and took over what they were doing. But what Zona had done, which most people never saw, was that they had built a super database. And in this day and age, let me tell you, most of the tech companies thrive on data because we don't have solid data collection platforms in this country yet. So when Zona ran, after they shared and re-strategized their operation, listen to this, they were able for the first time in about 7 or 8 years to make a profit of 8 million kwacha. Was that 8 million kwacha or $8 million? I need to double check. I keep forgetting which one it is. It must be kwacha. 8 million kwacha. They were able now to post a profit. But here's the part that's interesting about Zona. Did you know that that 8 million kwacha was generated by a company with 6 employees? 3 in Zambia, 3 outside Zambia. 6 employees. You heard me right. 6. 8 million kwacha. What does that tell you? That tells you they've taken automation to the next level. And as I'm speaking to you right now, subject to confirmation, they are just about to sell, if not already sold, their company. And they've sold it north of $10 million. Now, for me, that's absolutely amazing. That shows you just how powerful understanding and managing these digital platforms can be when it's done correctly. A lot of people don't understand this. That's why people like myself spend a lot of time streamlining what I'm doing. So let me hurry up anyway. So we've got 3 left. Number 8, managing your personal brand. This is a big topic in our platform here. Personal branding. So we're going to talk about what exactly that personal branding is, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And if you manage it well, it makes a huge difference when it comes to who you go on to become. Now, if you back up to number 6, which was managing your fans, followers, your network, number 7, managing your platforms, digital platforms, you realize that personal brand is an issue. So what you project to the public is everything. And that's why you must make sure you're projecting the right image. Number 9, managing your communications. This is an area where many Zambian companies fall square flat on their faces. They are terrible at communication, and I mean terrible. And of course, you know why they are terrible? Because the individuals are just as terrible. So if you as an individual are terrible at managing your communication, how are you going to communicate to customers? That's why many lose potentially loyal customers, because they can't manage their communication. They are terrible at it. Unfortunately, even government is quite terrible when it comes to this space, although they do. So we need to understand that how you manage your communication determines where you will be with your skills. Number 10, everybody knows this one, time management. There's all manner of time management issues here. Mindset Change program teaches about time management in a very specific way under the Mindset Change itself. Then Dr. Nelly teaches about time management through something she calls time mapping. The bottom line is how you manage this resource called time. It's free, but it's priceless. Everybody gets the same time, but how you utilize your time determines how far you go and how effective you are. So it's a very powerful skill. And number 11, managing your computer, typing, and ICT skills. This is an absolutely essential. You cannot miss this type of kind of skill. It's so important today that you ignore this at your peril, because ICT and all related issues isn't a department anymore. It used to be. But IT is not a department anymore. It's a core part of many businesses. And that's why how you manage your skills in interacting with that particular department, core or foundation, will determine how far you go in terms of your effectiveness in an ever-changing market today. So there was a time when we could make fun about having an email and not having an email. Today, that's madness, not having an email, because everything is connected to that. As I'm speaking to you, Smart Zambia and all these digital platforms government has created, the e-government platforms, all of them are centered on email. And very soon, they will also center it to the NRC, which they'll also center it to something they're going to call the national number. So once this national number is in place, my friend, that becomes your identifier. It's already happening. Anybody born 2016 coming forward, they all have a national number. So these things have changed, my friend. And if you are not adapting, you are losing out. So next week, I will now delve into all and each one of these specific skills. You cannot, how can I put it? Ignore this. If you ignore this, you're doing it at your peril. And that's why we're sharing this on a platform like this. Our aim is very simple: to help you adapt, because adaptation is your only way to survival and thriving. If you don't adapt, you die. So 11 skills, very critical. So next week, I'm going into the first one, the managing you. You will be amazed what managing you is all about. And if you can get this aspect right, you'll be shocked by what it will do to open doors for yourself. Many of you, you're the reason why you're not seeing jobs, the reason why you're not seeing opportunities, the reason why you're not seeing new horizons and influence is simply because there's still something fundamentally wrong with the management of you. So you gotta get you in order. And when you do that, you will be amazed with what opens for yourself. So be very, very deliberate about what you post. Be very deliberate about how you look. Be deliberate about who you befriend. Be deliberate about which circles you're found in. These things are no longer a morality talk. This is about the progress for yourself. If you want to command influence, if you want to command impact through influence, then my friend, you got to manage you well. And we will do that next week. So from myself, thank you. Tomorrow, remember, and Sylvia is on this platform. She is doing Mindset Change Program. We are getting towards the end of the year. So we got to be very deliberate, because come 2023, what are you doing differently? And if you can't manage these skills I'm about to outline for you over the next few weeks before we take our break, you're definitely not going to see yourself progress. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow.